Hey, how y'all doing? As promised, I am here to talk to you about how and where to buy cheap hiking gear. Who doesn't want that? I want that. Do you want that? You want that. First of all, a couple housekeeping things. I'm so excited. 2 days ago, our group passed a milestone. We are now 100 members, which blows my mind. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you in the group for making it so much fun, and I'm just amazed how fast it's grown. It's probably from some of you guys spreading the word, so thank you so much, and please continue to be awesome. And I've just really enjoyed the time, the conversations that we've had, and the things I've learned so much from all of you. So please keep posting, please make yourself at home, really take advantage of this group to ask the questions that you have, and discuss not just with me but with all the other wonderful athletes that are in their training. And we also had our first troll today. Did anyone see it? Unfortunately, it was in poor Amy Lee's thread. She asked this really nice question about where to find cheap hiking gear, and someone pretty much came in there and was like, oh my gosh, what are you hiking for? You don't know what you're doing, for no reason at all. And, we don't do trolls here. That person, got the band hammer and they are gone, but it was kind of funny. They actually, I was just gonna message him and be, hey Rachel, and be like, hey dude, tone it down a little. He posted a picture of a rescue and a gory broken foot, and I deleted it, and I was about to message him, and then he said something nasty to me. He was like, oh, you're an idiot, go back to Ohio. So band hammer, troll is gone. I wish I would have got a screenshot because it was kind of funny, but obviously we don't want that in the group. So anyway, let me jump into the topic. Where do you find cheap hiking gear? And actually, before we even get into cheap, for those of you who are just starting, maybe getting into sports like backpacking and mountaineering, one thing I really try to encourage people to do is not to try to buy everything all at once. This stuff's potentially expensive. It gets very overwhelming. You don't need to go out to REI and put a second mortgage on your house to outfit yourself to do a backpacking trip. That's just off the hook. Don't do that. I do go through in one of my free trainings, which I'll drop a link to down there after the video is done, down below the video in the comments. Look for it. I have a free training that actually goes, one of the days is the gear day, and it kind of goes through, what should you buy first? What can you kind of hold off on? You can borrow from friends, things like that. So definitely check that out if this is something that you really want to dive deeper into. But borrowing. So the first thing I always encourage people to do is to don't buy anything. If you can, try to borrow all the gear that you can, other than maybe your clothes and your boots. So where can you borrow from? If you're going backpacking with a friend, obviously they're gonna have things. You can share a tent, you can share a bear canister, you can, maybe you can share a sleeping bag if they're a really good friend. Probably you want your own sleeping bag. I don't know, maybe you don't. But there's many things, a water filter, stove, all that stuff that if you have friends that are into backpacking that are going with you, that they are usually pretty happy to bring along and share with you. You can offer to carry some of it. That would be a very nice thing to do. Another thing you can do, if you have a social network, you can use any of your social networks really, like Facebook, Instagram. The one I've found that works really good is the neighborhood one, which is called nextdoor.com. It's like a social network for your neighborhood. We have one here in Capitol Hill in Denver, and you can go on there and ask things like, hey, I need a beer canister for this weekend. Does someone have one I can borrow? And then I'll give it back to you. And a lot of times people will loan you things, no cost involved. And actually, it was super funny. I did put that out on Nextdoor one time, and someone messaged back and said, I have a beer canister. I never use it. I'm gonna give it to you. Keep it for free. So I still have it. I'm actually taking it this weekend. So borrowing things, that would be that would be my go-to number one if you are trying to gear up and you're new to the sport. Number two, renting is, if you're not quite ready to commit to buying expensive gear, think about renting. couple of places that are almost everywhere that do rentals. REI, most outfitters, gear shops will often do it. And the great thing about rentals is it really gives you an opportunity to try different kinds of equipment. Like I rented a bunch of different kinds of cross-country skis before I finally bought some. And I actually bought the same model that I rented, which happens quite a bit. You'll probably find something you like that works for you, and it's just a great way to try stuff out. Another thing to keep in mind about rentals, and I'd actually ask the place, most places that rent gear sell it at the end of the season or at the end of every 2 seasons. So you can be like, hey, can you tell me when the rental sale is? And then go get you some gear. And it's usually very inexpensive because it's used, right? So rentals, that's another smart thing to do. Buying, so I'll put some links below the video to some of these places where you can buy inexpensive gear. I've got a list here on my lap. And I think it's a good goal. I have a friend whose goal is never to pay more than 50% of retail for gear. And I think once you get really good, that's actually not super unrealistic. There's just tons of places to get good, cheap, inexpensive gear. So I will share a few with you. Once again, buying on, hey Amy. So once again, buying from people you know is often a good thing to do. You can put something out on Facebook. Hey, I'm looking for a new backpack. Does anyone have one they're selling? Nextdoor, Craigslist is also a good place to look. A lot of times people think they're gonna like backpacking and they go out, and especially if they got money, they buy all this really nice gear and then they go once and they're like, oh man, I was just like cold and afraid of bears the whole time. I'm getting rid of my gear. So, you can buy their gear. It's awesome. Another place to look, resale stores, and that can, like in some places you'll find actual outdoor specific buy, sell, trade sites on Facebook. Yeah, Brian, thanks. If you've had success with that, let us know what you bought in the comments. But yeah, there are specific resale shops that do only outdoor stuff. We definitely have them in Colorado. And then sometimes you have good luck going to like here in Colorado, where a lot of people have a lot of outdoor gear that they often don't want anymore. You can just go to like Goodwill and pick up like really nice like fleeces and tech jackets, and it's crazy sometimes what you find at Goodwill. Sometimes you don't find anything, but definitely check it out. And if you're going on vacation to kind of an outdoorsy place, definitely like swing by the retail shop and pop some tags. No, like don't steal stuff, but definitely check it out. What else? The REI garage sale. If you live near an REI, definitely, I'm gonna wave so these messages go away. So if you live near, hey Barb, if you live near an REI, definitely get on the email list for the garage sale, because you know how you can return everything to REI like within a year? It's actually a really nice policy, right? So a lot of times if you return it and it's slightly used, they can't really put it back on the shelf and sell it new. So they have what's called a garage sale, where they sell all their returns that are, not brand new, but often very lightly used, and you can get amazing deals like Osprey backpack for half price and crazy stuff like that. So again, it's kind of a crapshoot. Like sometimes it's awesome, sometimes you really don't find anything, but you'll never know if you don't go. So get your booty on the email list and go to REI garage sale. It's awesome. There's a website I think is worth checking out. It's called theclimb.com. Climb is spelled with a Y. Again, I'll drop the link below this afterwards. But yeah, basically what it is it's Groupon. It's like Groupons for gear deals. They go out and buy gear like in big lots and in bulk, and then sell it to you for really good prices, like 30-40% off, which is awesome. And again, you have to sign up for the site, and then you get the offers through the email, and maybe you'll get something that you need. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like a ton of selection. You kind of have to wait for what you want to come. You'll probably get lots of emails like, hey, do you want a climbing helmet? We have a great deal. And you'll be like, nah, I don't want that. I want a backpack. But if you wait around, hopefully you'll get a backpack. And the last one, a lot of my students really love this website. SierraTradingPost.com is like a retailer, and they actually sell seconds, which are things with maybe cosmetic flaws that still work really well, or just products that have been closed out. They're a little bit older and maybe they didn't sell, but the stuff is brand new. It's maybe been sitting in some other store, and then Sierra Trading Post just goes around and scrapes it all up and brings it to their store and their website, and you can shop online. I actually just bought some shorts from them, for some like New Balance shorts for like $10. It was amazing. So their deals kind of range. Some of their stuff's like almost full price, and some of it's like super cheap. And I know some of my mountaineering students have just gotten amazing deals from them. So definitely check out Sierra Trading Post. Again, I will drop the link for you. So those are my big 3 go-tos. I would try borrowing first. Just borrow the stuff that you don't absolutely need for stuff that you do want to start. And renting is another way to go if you're not quite ready to commit. When you're ready to start buying, really look for good discounts. There's a lot of quality gear out there. Like I said, people buy all kinds of stuff and then they don't want it. So you got to figure out how can you get what they don't want anymore. Oh, Sierra Trading Post is Barb's favorite. Woo! I love that place. I would make out with that place if it had a face. I don't know. Maybe it has a face. I don't know. I'm going down a rabbit hole. Welcome to live video. It gets weird. Anyway, so a couple bonus tips. Eventually, some of you are going to come to a point where you're going to want to buy a lot of gear. You're getting into multiple sports. You're getting into mountaineering, which, holy balls, there's so much gear, so much to buy. And you're going to spend enough money. You want to spend the money on trips, not on like the overpriced gear. So what do? So 2 bonus tips for you if you're going to buy a lot of gear. First one, REI credit card. REI actually has a credit card that gives you dollars back in your dividends. So you can only get it once a year, but if you use it, and it's not a huge percentage, so you gotta use your credit card for lots and lots of stuff. But if you do, I've had friends that got like $700, $1,000 back. They pretty much like paid their rent with the credit card, paid their car payment with the REI credit card, and it does add up over the course of a year. So that's kind of nice, like $1,000 of gear just for like paying your rent and doing stuff you do anyway. And it's really funny, when you're in Colorado, like when you're at a restaurant and everybody pulls out their credit card to pay the bill, and it's like 5 REI credit cards. Like, I've seen it happen. It's pretty funny. And then one last place I would look, you actually, as maybe you don't work in the outdoor industry, you can still get a pro deal through joining certain organizations. Like the one I know for sure, I would join this even if I did not live in Colorado. I'm hopefully going to move to Mexico in the next couple of years, at least part-time, and I will still be a Colorado Mountain Club member. Why? Because, not because I'll be able to go on their trips from Mexico, but because for my $75 membership fee, I get pro deals on a ton of brands. It's 40 to 60% off. Some of them have free shipping. They do have some restrictions on what you can do. You can't buy for friends or family once all sales are final, so you really do have to know what you're gonna get. But yeah, once you're in the pro deal program, you basically go on this website, which I think it keeps changing names, but this week it calls itself Expert Voice. And yeah, you just look at all the brands and buy what you want, and it's amazing. You can buy bicycles, you can buy like giant racks for the top of your car. You can buy Mountain House. I just got like a big shipment of Mountain House dinners. It's like my Mountain House for the year, and that's all through my pro deal at Colorado Mountain Club. So that $75, like even if I never did anything at Colorado Mountain Club, I would probably like make it back in like gear savings in like a month. Seriously, I buy a lot of gear. It might take you like 2 months, but but yeah, so those are my tips for cheap gear. Do you guys have any tips that I haven't covered? I know you guys are outdoors people, you buy some gear. If you've got another good place for people to look, go ahead and drop it in the comments, and I will watch for just a minute while see if you have some ideas. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but this massive storm, like I'm sitting here looking at my window, like my face is all overexposed, you can probably see, and this massive storm is rolling in right now, and it's so cool. and it's a little scary. If you see me like jump up and shut the window, like something crazy just happened. So yeah, I don't see any more suggestions. Sierra trading posts, using Facebook to find gear. Those are both great suggestions. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. Oh, and Kim is on. Kim, hello. And Angel is on. Okay, Kim and Angel, we're just talking about where to buy cheap gear. If you guys want to drop in the comments, do you have any favorite places you go for deals or suggestions? I just went through a whole bunch of them, which you can watch in the replay. But yeah, do you guys or anyone else who's watching, any suggestions? Can you guys hear the wind? It is crazy. I'm like, it's funny because it looks like I'm looking at my phone, but I'm looking past the phone out the window, and it's like the apocalypse out there. It's actually, I'll have to turn it around for you. Steep and Cheap. Oh yeah, I've never been to Steep and Cheap. Is that good for outdoor gear sales? I will definitely have to check that out, Barb. Thank you. Yeah. Good suggestions. So this video will be up on replay as well if you want to, if you see this later, and you can still add your suggestions. In fact, I hope you do, because a lot of people watch the video in replay. Not everyone's so lucky to get to watch it live. All right. Well, cool. Well, hey, it's been great to talk to you, and I'm gonna wrap up here. And before I go, I don't know if this will, let me see if I can get it to show you. If it shuts down, sorry about that. That'll be the end of the video. So there's like the crazy sky, like this all rolled in just now while I was talking to you, and the wind went crazy. So anyway, that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. Hope you guys are well, and yeah, happy hiking. I'll see you on the site.